Now we are ready to begin. So, the SBA IT Workforce Summit was a great way for people to come together and learn about the things that we're doing here in OCIO. My name is Ariel. You may have heard my voice before with some of the other trainings that we've done, OneDrive, Skype for Business, and IT collaboration tools, which is what we'll be talking about today. This is an overview of our agenda. The timing is a little bit different. It's coinciding with how it was in the IT Summit, but the cadence is still the same. So let us begin. I'm going to introduce Adam.
Hi, everyone. Adam Xiao. I'm with Microsoft, and I'll be talking to the next couple of slides. So Microsoft, kind of a quick initial introduction to the suite before we get into the specific products. This really, at a glance, kind of shows what the different collaboration tools are in Office 365 and how you might want to think about using them. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here, but just kind of going, left to right, right? Like Outlook is still available, so your tool for all things calendaring and messaging. Some new features in the versions that you have now after you've upgraded that you didn't have before that you might want to check out. SharePoint, as you move over to SharePoint Online, that's really the place where you'll host your communication sites, right? Like if you want to host like official policy and broadcast it out, or if you have a lot of documents that you want to manage, permissions and kind of complex document management is a really, really good use case for SharePoint. Yammer is your tool, your social network tool across the enterprise. So that's how you interact with people outside of your team, people that you may never have met before, but are interested or working on maybe similar things as you. Yammer is really the tool for you to be able to connect with them in a seamless way through different topics and also to connect with your leadership. You can utilize it to do all hands and a lot of cool stuff like that. The Office applications, if you haven't tried co-authoring in the Office applications, highly recommend it. You can share a document with someone instead of saving a bunch of different versions of it. You can all work in that same document simultaneously, which is, I think, up to 20 people can edit at any given time, which is can't imagine you need more than that. But anyway, so they're really, really nice new features that you might want to check out there. And then Teams, which we'll be covering today, that's really your hub for teamwork. So think of it as like the SharePoint team sites that you probably use today or have used in the past. Teams is a replacement for that type of working together. So it's your hub for all of your files, all of your messaging with your close teammates. Where Yammer is enterprise-wide, right? So it's SBA-wide. Teams is a better use case for like 100 people or less who are doing work and working closely together. Okay, so that was kind of a lot, right? So what do I use and when do I use what? So there's a couple slides here that we'll cover at a high level how to think about it. So first thing to I want to consider is your audience. How large is your audience? Is it a large group of people? Is it a smaller group of people? Is it anything? Outlook is still the audience that can cover both large and small groups of people. You can use distro list and hit the entire SBA enterprise if you have permission to do so, or you can just email one or two people, right? So it's really flexible in that way. Yammer and SharePoint are really engineered for large audience types. So again, like that SharePoint-like communication site would be something that you could share enterprise-wide, and then Yammer is enterprise-wide too. A smaller audience would be like less than 200 people, maybe, people think about it. Microsoft Teams is a great use case for that, right? For high velocity teaming with a smaller group of people, Teams is perfect for that. OneDrive is your personal storage files in the cloud, right? No one has permission to view anything in your OneDrive other than you unless you grant permission to that person, right? So OneDrive is really for one person until you share through it. And then Skype for Business as well. I think there's up to 250 people you can have in a Skype for Business meeting. Tone. All right, that's another thing you might want to think about too. How do you want to come off? How formal or informal are you the activity that you're doing? So Skype is good for really any tone, right? You can be more formal or less formal with Skype. OneDrive and Teams is definitely more of a personal kind of informal tone. So you'll see once you start using Teams, there's a lot of features that are enabled like GIFs, and you can share files and pictures and GIFs and emojis, and so the idea being that it's kind of less of a formal place to send a business memo, and more of a way to kind of chat with your colleagues, discuss stuff. You can like things in Teams, kind of similar to Facebook or something. So it's just kind of a nice way to kind of stay connected with everybody. And then more formal would be probably Outlook, right? Like an Outlook, an email is probably your most formal, method of communication. And then SharePoint, and then Yammer as well is business communication. Lastly, speed. So how quickly do you want to get a response back from the person that you're working with? If you're really looking for a quick response, Teams and Skype are probably your best route. You can IM through there. It'll pop up. They'll get a notification that you IM'd. And, it's considered urgent, or maybe if it's someone that you know well, it's kind of considered friendly, Any low tempo, so like something that's a little bit slower, you don't need something back immediately. Email, right, makes sense. Posting something up on SharePoint, that makes sense. Your OneDrive. And then any tempo is Yammer. Yammer can be something that people respond to immediately, or sometimes it takes a couple days. So I think it kind of depends.
Okay, so now that you know when to use what different applications, we're going to dive in a little bit further with those specific applications and what that means to you, or how you've interacted with that application in the past and how you can now use it in the future. So SharePoint Online, we recently migrated about 44 applications over to SharePoint Online. So it's up to date. We originally had quite a few outdated applications. We've worked with over 13 different program offices to have us up to date on the latest version of SharePoint Online. But many of you may have experienced SharePoint through the Yes page or the Employee Gateway, which is the intranet. One function of SharePoint, having an opportunity to interact and engage with each other as an intranet. So you've interacted on SharePoint that way before. You've seen announcements and notices. You've also on different program offices. Sorry, is the sound going in and out on the phone? Are you guys able to hear me clearly?
It's kind of bouncing.
Okay. Let me know if that continues. The mic, I could tell there was a little bit of a difference with the mic, but let us know if it continues. So with the intranet, it has an opportunity for you to post files and access different content. So that's, again, where SharePoint comes into place, because it is a content management system. So any type of needs to have access for everyone, large audiences, you want to use SharePoint. Any type of complex file management, SharePoint is going to be your go-to, especially because it's all backed up in the cloud, which is one of the big initiatives that the government is moving towards, IT modernization and getting things on the cloud. So since we've done this modernization, getting SharePoint up to date, you'll start seeing more movement on utilizing SharePoint at its fullest functionality, which brings us to governance. So right now, SBA.gov is also going through an IT modernization initiative where some of the different program offices will no longer be able to have internal content on SBA.gov, which makes sense. SBA.gov, the audience is going to be small business owners, entrepreneurs, people interested in connecting with the agency from an external use, where SharePoint is our internal space. So we're introducing the idea of governance. So program offices, sorry about the sound, I don't know what's going on with this mic. Program offices have the to files and post files specifically for their program office. So we're introducing the governance piece. That way we can make sure the content that is available to all of our internal users is relevant and up to date. Someone has access to make sure that this information is, again, relevant and up to date and useful for the employees. So again, that circles back to why SharePoint is so important as an intranet feature and a content management feature. If you have different policies or different things that need to be available for the enterprise to use internally, then you want to use SharePoint. And the governance piece will help the program offices identify where or how that information should be available to everyone. So that's SharePoint. More to come on that. Yammer. So Yammer is SBA's internal social media platform. It is still government, and it is still professional. So while we do encourage engagement, please use, common sense when it comes to posting. These things are still public. It is similar to social media in the fact that everybody can indeed see what you post, but it's a fabulous tool to use because it breaks a lot of silos. You can interact and engage with anybody enterprise-wide. Yammer is heavily group-centric. I would say it's similar to LinkedIn and Facebook, where you have a news feed where it shows things that you're interested in and people that you're following, but you also can join groups that have specific topics or things that you may be interested in. So subject matter experts or people that are just interested in learning about new things. For example, we have a CIO Connection Yammer group. So if anybody is interested in knowing what's going on from the CIO or in the IT world for SBA, you can join the CIO Connection. People like Maria wrote, who was our CIO. We've had the previous administrator heavily active on Yammer. A lot of executives check out Yammer, and so does everybody else. So it is a really great opportunity for you to engage and interact with other people that are in the enterprise. So that's what Yammer is and why you should use Yammer to get your questions answered, ask your questions in a quick and efficient way. Sometimes people respond quickly. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time, but you're asking it to everyone. Hello? Okay. The questions aren't in a silo. It's not like if you send something to the IT help desk or one person, then it gets lost sometimes. The email struggle is real around here. And Yammer gives you an opportunity to have your question seen by multiple people and answered by multiple people and help multiple people if you have a similar question or concern that someone else may have as well. It's easy to get started. It's easy to get started with Yammer. All you have to do is type in Yammer.com. Yammer. We're trying to
Testing.
We're the mic. We're still having some mic issues. Okay, 1 second. Okay. We're just going to keep rolling here. Okay. So you start by just typing in Yammer.com, and then it'll pull up your access. Okay. I'm going to show an opportunity for you to see it. I'm trying not to show all of my tabs so you guys don't judge me. Let's see. There's also a desktop application, so you can use Yammer on the desktop application, or you can use Yammer on your mobile application. So there are a lot of ways, but just typing in Yammer.com. If you've never logged in to Yammer, it'll ask for your SBA email address because only SBA employees with an email address have access to Yammer. So it is somewhat private, but still public because we work for the government. So as you can see here, groups, these are the groups that I'm a part of. This is my news feed. You'll get notifications if there are new things in groups that you're interested. You can search for groups. So CIO Connection, it'll pull up any group that mentions it, any people that have that acronym. Oh. I don't know. Share your desktop. Okay. Here we go. Yammer. Groups on the left-hand side. You can search for groups here or anything. People, connection, and it pulls up things here. you can also log into a group. So we'll go to the Skype for Business group, and you'll see things posted here, the different members, questions that are being asked and answered. Look, boom, someone asked a question and it's been answered. Things like that happen all the time in Yammer, so you should definitely check it out. If you haven't, you can search in the groups, so it keeps a record of things that have happened. We've done Ask Me Anythings in the Yammer group, so people have had questions. That's not a good search. I'm going to type in phone and see what comes up. Search. So it pulls up any conversation that mentions phone, any files that mention phone. So it's a really great way to keep up with what's happening, to see if any of your questions or concerns have been answered or addressed. And again, we've done some Ask Me Anything sessions. Like, for example, here's one that we've done, Ask Me Anything session, and you can see that people have asked questions and they've been answered. So it's a great tool to use to engage and interact with people that you may not have ever even heard of before and make a new friend. So that is Yammer. And then we're going to talk about everyone's favorite, Skype for Business. So we're using Skype for Business now. Obviously, we've experienced some issues before in the past. However, it is improving. We transitioned to Skype for Business about a year ago. I know it was a struggle. I helped you all achieve that mountain since we moved over from Link. So Skype for Business is useful for online meetings such as this. You have the opportunity to record meetings. There is a maximum of 250 participants, 500 megabytes for file uploads. So there are some restrictions, but it does pretty much provide an easy way for you to have online meetings or interact with each other virtually, which is really important since there are different program offices and different services that we offer across the United States. So it's vital for us to have an IT solution for you to interact and engage with each other. And right now that is Skype for Business. You can definitely use Skype for Business across different communication devices, such as your, SBA cell phone. You can join meetings through your SBA cell phone if you have one, and the Skype for Business mobile app is there. You can get IMs and check and see how people are on a project. So it's a great way for you to virtually interact with people and connect with each other to accomplish, goals. So the phone system right now in headquarters and in the field, Polycom media phones are being delivered. It's just a accessory to Skype for Business. So think of it as a physical extension of Skype for Business. Right now, the old phones that you're typically using, we've experienced some connectivity issues. Some of the different buildings and the program offices that aren't in headquarters, they're experiencing a lot of issues. There are so many different reasons why we're moving to VoIP, voice over IP, when it comes to cost saving as well as being more efficient with the connectivity. We're working on the service level, which is something that Russ Miller, the IT operations director, is constantly working on. So you should have received improvement on your Skype for Business, different meetings and interactions, but it's constantly being up to date. And again, the Polycom media phones are just an accessory to the Skype for Business feature. So being able to connect with meetings instantly, being able to see who's on your connected list. So it's just an accessory, but you will receive those phones. So I just want to make sure that you have a heads up that Windows 10 is required for the Polycom media phones to work, but everybody in the agency should be receiving Windows 10 very soon if you have not received it already. So you'll receive a new accessory to Skype for Business, which is the Polycom media phones, soon. Skype for Business will sunset soon, but we have about 2 years, so there is time. We're mentioning it now because we want to make sure that IT doesn't happen to you, but it happens with you. So we're still working on features to make sure that you're able to engage and collaborate and there's limited disruption in your work. So right now, this is what we're doing for Skype for Business. There is a Skype for Business Yammer group. As you could see with the previous slide, we did a little deep dive into Yammer. So if you have questions, comments, concerns about Skype for Business, I highly recommend that you go to the Yammer group, because we may not know about the problems that you're experiencing, or we may have heard about it from one person, but if it's a large issue that multiple people are experiencing, posting something like that on the Skype for Business Yammer group will provide an opportunity to have a larger audience and a bigger spotlight on the issue. So Guy, Maria, Russ, all of those executives in OCIO definitely monitor those groups, and you can at them, make sure that they're aware of the issues. So, but Skype for Business is definitely improving. Continue to bear with us and let us know any problems that you experience so we can make your user experiences as positive as possible. So that's Skype for Business. And now the Teams. That's what we're going to really be talking about today. This is a new feature. You may have seen Teams pop up in your Skype for Business IM window saying that try Teams because Skype for Business will no longer be available. So to avoid so many issues with forcing people to adapt new technology when they have no choice, we want to introduce you to Microsoft Teams today so you can have more information about ways to engage and collaborate with each other with this new feature. So I'm going to turn it over to Adam, and we're going to go over Teams and hopefully do an interactive activity soon.
Thanks, Ariel. So Microsoft Teams. So Ariel mentioned that Skype for Business will be sunsetting, going away in about 2 years. Teams will be replacing Skype. So Teams really is the central, not only collaboration tool, but also unified communications tool within the Office 365 suite moving forward. And we're kind of in this transition period for the next couple of years until that happens. So when you think about Teams, I really think of it as your portal for the rest of Office 365, or an operating system in and of itself. It really brings in all of the other applications that you have available in Office 365 into one place so that you can easily use them together. So among other things, Teams bring together a chat-based workspace. So, you can post files and everything and comment on the files very easily, chat with each other, chat one-on-one, chat within your group. Really, Teams revolves around this idea of having a group of people, right, called a team that have access to common files and information together. So it really centers around teamwork. And then you have the ability to customize your team and display what's important to you, make sure that the files that are important to you never get lost, make sure that you never need to have more than one version of a file ever again, because everyone knows exactly where to go, and that's Teams. So let's talk about Teams a little bit more. This is what the interface looks like, just to kind of give you an idea. You can see over on the very, very left bar, there are different options there, right? Starting up top with activity, chat, Teams, meetings, calls, and then files. Those are the main categories, and if you click them, the client will change. Right now we have Teams selected in this picture, and you can see in that white space directly to the right there. You can see that those are all the different teams that this person is a part of, right? So they're part of the Business Technology Solutions Group, the Immersive Learning Group, Skype, IT Summit Group. Those are all separate groups, separate people. And if you click each one, there'll be separate files, separate communications, and only the people within the team have access to the team. And then over on the right, you can see that's the central workspace area. So that's where Ariel and Nick are having a conversation, and there are tabs up top. And we'll get into all this in a little bit more detail in the next exercise that we'll be doing. So I think Ariel's going to be posting out a link to a team site for you all to join. So the next section of this, so we've talked at you for about half an hour here. We want to make sure the next section gives you a chance to actually experience the product for yourself. And we'll be doing a demo too. So we encourage you to, you can watch us on the call, but we encourage you too to bring up your own Teams client. It is activated for you. and to join and play along and try it out with us. Okay. All right. So you can see over on the very left, right now we have teams highlighted. You can see all the teams, right, that Ariel is a part of right there. And those under the teams, you have these thing called channels. So each of these, 2, 3, whatever, 7 teams you have access to. Now the immersive learning team, it's a separate group from the Skype team, right? And it's a separate group from the OCIO intern team. And if you actually want to see who's in a team, you can click the little ellipses over to the right of the team right there and go to Manage Team. And that shows you who's the owner of the team. And if you click the members and guests, it'll show you who is a guest of the team as well. If you're an owner, you can promote someone to be an owner, and only owners can do that. So in any case, that's sort of the team, right? And that's a different group than the Skype team, the OCIO intern team. And under each team are different channels. And think of those as like workspaces. So within each channel, you can almost think of it as like a separate folder in SharePoint, only it's a whole separate workspace, right? So the general channel has different conversations over to the right here than the other channels would. So here's the main workspace area. And you can see, Ariel was just scrolling up. So what you'll notice is a big difference from Skype is the chat is persistent. So you can technically scroll up if you are added to a team that's a year old and there's conversations with that team from like a year ago. You could technically, once you're added to the team, scroll up and find the that anyone ever sent a year ago in that team. So that's how it's structured, right? If you're in the team, you have access. If you're not in the team, you don't have access. And everything stays there for the benefit of the team. So this is the Conversations tab. If you want to start a new conversation, the bar at the bottom is how you do that and how you engage. You can, just type in something. You can use @ to mention someone. So similar to like Instagram or Yammer or something, it uses hashtags or the @ symbol to identify people and groups. So right now we're mentioning Nick and we're saying hi. And once we send that off, Nick will actually get a notification in that activity bell up at the very top left of the screen. He'll get a notification that Ariel has said hello. You also have some other like robust text options if you want to just take a look at it. If you click, like that little you click down there. Now you have like a lot of options that probably look familiar from like Microsoft Word or something, right? You can bold stuff, you can italicize stuff, you can add a subject if you want to like call something out with like a header, like, hey, this is, updates from this meeting or something. And then you can put in all the updates using bullets and whatever you'd like in the field, to kind of give people a heads up. You can also attach files directly to a team, to a chat. You can add emojis and you can add GIFs. There are a lot of kind of fun options to use. And I'll tell you, at first, when we started using it at Microsoft, like we did that kind of stuff before it immediately, people just kind of jumped in and started playing around with it. And it makes it for, it's a little less formal communication, but I think it also is kind of nice to have that interaction with your colleagues too. There's plenty of time to be formal as well. And anyway, so in addition to that, you can also, you can play around with some of the other options, but there's some other options there. You can even actually have a quick meeting and schedule just a meeting with someone too with that very bottom video looking icon. So those are some of the main workspace that, there's us. Yeah, check it out. So that's how you could start a meeting with someone on the fly, right? So I'm throwing kind of a lot out. Any questions from the audience so far on how it's structured? I guess let's go into files quick, and then I'll take some questions too. So if you go into the Files tab, this is your individual file repository for each team, right? So everyone in the team has access to all of the files, and this is a different file folder than a different channel would be, right? So anyway, you go into Files, and you can see all the files that you can add. It's really a mirror image of SharePoint. You can there's even an open in SharePoint option that you have to do that, but just so you know, it's just a mirror image of SharePoint. So you can add new folders, you can add new Office documents, you can upload stuff from your OneDrive or from wherever, and then you can also, use the space to mention documents and collaborate together. And you can edit directly within Teams. So Teams is really built to be able to be one place where you do all of your work. So instead of having to go to SharePoint and then pulling up your PowerPoint client and then, going to Skype to message someone, you can do it all within one place, and that's really the power of Teams. Any questions? Kind of the general, after that general overview of what Teams is. Any questions so far? Can you all hear us?
I hear you fine.
Did somebody say something? No? Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, all right. So, yeah, let's play around with it. So we're just typing in the link to a team site right now. If you click on that team site, you can request permission to join the team site, and we'll let you right in. And then we're going to go over a few things together. So just take a minute, click on that. It should pull up in a browser probably the request. Hey, all right. Raymond just joined. Keep them coming, everyone. It's a public team. Cool. So it should pull you right in if you're interested. Okay. Yeah, you can also add people directly into too. So if you want to start a new team and there's 10 people that you work closely with that you want to make sure you add to it, you can put them directly in. You can search for people through so it'll find everyone who's an employee. Should. Cool. 2 people. All right. Well, join the team when you have a minute. I know some of you are calling in, but join if you can. And then we're going to go through just a couple of recommended actions for you to do when you first start a team. Okay. So first one, in general, it's better to create larger teams and to have channels for specific topics than to have a ton of different teams. That just cuts down if you have too many teams. So in general, when you're organizing it, when you're starting a new group, think about how you can structure it so that it's an overall group or topic or something, and then the channels underneath are then the subsets of people that are working together.
The next thing we want you to do is chat within the channel. So we only have Mike and Raymond. Oh, and Darren. Welcome to the team. We have all 3 of you guys in the channel. So let's talk to each other in the team. And Jose. Excellent. Now we're cooking with grease. All right. Let's do it. Let's chat within the general teams channel. Okay.
Yeah, so one of you try to use an @ sign to, all right, hey, all right, teamwork does make the dream work. Try mentioning something or someone. So if you mention someone with their name, you should be able to, they should pop right up, and you'll see the activity. You can also mention team, and if you mention team, then everyone in the team will be notified. Want to give that a try, Ariel, mentioning team? Yeah, cool. So Ariel just put in #team, and you see it changed to IT collaboration tools. And now when she sends us off, everyone in the team will see a notification in their activity bell at the top left that Ariel just mentioned you. Yeah, the web version works well, Darren. Yep. Recommend the web version. It's really light on your computer. Also, just so you know, the one capability difference between the web and the client is you can't do like VoIP calling on the web version, but I don't think you'll be using that much anyway right now. Yeah, somebody add Ariel. Mention Ariel. You can also see that you can like things, so Ariel can like Darren's post there, which really is more of an acknowledgement than anything else, right? Like instead of having to always reply back, okay, or something like that, the like just sort of mentions, it is a like, but it also, signals that you've read the post. Oh, almost. Almost. There we go. Boom. Yeah, Raymond, the @Ariel, I think you probably typed it in but didn't select Ariel's like name. Yeah. Try it one more time. It should pop up like Michael's just did right there. Oh, you just need to click enter. Yeah. Cool. Hey, all right. Doing it. Cool. Yeah, so see, yep, very cool. All right. So. Yes, you can customize channels. So let's, why don't we all add a channel to the team? Sorry. Yeah, you customize it, not add a channel. Okay, so you can add a channel if you want, or you can customize the channel that you're in. So feel free to do either one. We're going to show you how to customize right here. So right now you see at the top, there are 3 tabs. There's that conversation tab that we're all working in. There was the files tab, which is that mirror of a SharePoint site. And then we have a wiki tab, that's notes section. So this is the big moment, everyone. This is like the big reveal moment that I think is a really big deal. If you click that plus button at the top next to wiki, now you'll see other tabs that you can directly import into the team. So what is this? Basically, you're like pinning something to the group for some reason. So let's say there was a PowerPoint document that everybody's working on, or maybe there's standard operating procedures that everyone refers to constantly, or maybe there's, I don't know, some link to external sites or something that you need. Pinning them up to the tab makes it really easy for everyone to know where to go when they need stuff. You can also pin a Power BI dashboard even, which is pretty cool. It's interactive, so you can actually dive into the data directly through the team without opening anything else. So what's really nice about this is you can tab things for easy access for the team. So let's try one. I don't know. We could go to Planner. We can do an Excel to start. Whatever you want. Oh yeah, but how many files? Let's do. Sure. Let's add a file. So you can add a file by clicking that upload button. So Ariel's finding something from her OneDrive, I assume, to post up. So it's that easy, right? Uploading right there. And then once it comes in, if we really wanted to call it out, we could pin it. So you click the plus, click the PowerPoint. Yep, that's what we just did. You could rename it if you wanted to. We just named it PowerPoint, but you could rename it, whatever. And now it's pinned there for everybody to have access to. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the wiki is a really great feature. It's kind of similar to like a OneNote, but it's nice that it's just a place you can put in meeting notes, quick follow-ups, links that the team is going to need a lot, maybe upcoming, stuff that you just want people to know about, maybe upcoming events or something like that. It's a nice place to enter in information that people can access quickly. And the power with Wiki is it's really a team thing, right? So instead of being like an individual OneNote that just you have, the Wiki is co-owned by everyone in the team. So everyone can update it, everyone can see it, and that's really the usefulness of the Wiki. I think it's just because you're zoomed in a lot. But yeah, so there you go. Looks a little funky on our display, but you get the picture. Yeah. I want to start a new channel. Should people do that? So if you go over to the channel, if you click the ellipses, you have a number of options. One was you could manage a team. That's where we went to before to see who is in the team. You can add people, and then you can add a channel. So let's say we're working on something. What's a good channel? What's a good project? How about Teams communication or something? So this is where we're going to do all of our Teams communication work. So let's say we want to send out some emails to our colleagues, tell them how great and useful Teams is, and get people on board. This is the channel that we'd use for that. All the things. Take just a minute to set up, and now you see it's like a blank workspace, right? So there's no conversations yet, there's no files in there yet, and now Ariel can work with whoever she's working on for communication-specific work in that channel if she wants to, instead of the general channel. So now it's sort of delineated out, which is nice from an organizational point of view. Yeah. So there we go. That's some of the featured teams. More than anything else, that are hook off the stage. Just recommend trying it out. Right, it's activated for everyone at SBA. So we recommend setting up a team site, trying it out, start using it. It ends up being most useful when other people use it. In the beginning, if it's just you, it's okay. But try to get more people involved, and you'll see the value of it.
So we are about to this. I don't know where this music is coming from. If you guys can hear it. Oh, so I feel like I spoke it out into the universe and it has stopped. So we are almost done. I do want to say that we are looking for team champions. So if this seems like a great tool to use and you would like to be on the forefront of engagement and adaptation, let me know. I usually don't have people send me emails because the email struggle is real. So post it in the Teams group, and we'll get you added to the early adapters section, and we'll provide additional training and make sure that you're up to date on all of the ins and outs of Teams. Again, the reason why we're stressing the importance of these different IT collaboration tools is that as an enterprise, we want to make sure everyone has the opportunity and ability to do their work in an efficient and effective way. Because if we're able to do that, then we can support small businesses better than what we're currently doing now. So we also want to make sure that you're able to get in touch with who you need to get in touch with in order to do what you need to do to support small businesses. So Teams is a new tool. Sometimes people are a little hesitant to try new things, but this is great. You're not being forced to do it. I'm just asking you to do it now because eventually we will have to do it. So this is the perfect time to kind of get in at the beginning, make sure that any serious concerns, questions, comments are addressed at the beginning so this tool can be, customized or identified for use cases, especially in the field. So we see this as being a really useful way to make sure that work is organized and, again, engaging with each other without it being so monotone and, ineffective. If you're enjoying what you're doing, you tend to do it better. So Teams is a way for you to do that. We're looking for champions to, again, lead the charge forward, show people how great this tool is before, everybody has to use it. So we're definitely focusing on excitement and yay factor with Teams instead of now. So please get on this train. We would like to go on this journey with you. Let me know in the Teams group if you're interested, or if you must, shoot me an email if I don't respond in like a week. Remind me again because I want you to participate. I would think everybody wants to participate. So let us know if you don't want to participate. But seriously, we definitely appreciate your time with that. To follow up, there are some different ways that you can engage. We do have an IT collaborations tools, Yammer Group, Skype for Business Yammer Group, Windows 10 Yammer Group. There's the CIO Connection. There's definitely more information on the Windows 10 Training Hub, which I can show you as well. And there are different points of contact when it comes to technical support. Terrence Hudgen is the Teams and Skype technical lead. Nick Forges, he's the SharePoint product owner and technical lead. Yammer, I am not really a technical lead, but I can answer your questions about Yammer. So I am the person, I am the Yammer queen. Don't listen to them if they say I'm the Skype for Business queen. It is a lie. I am the Yammer queen. So I can definitely help you with your Yammer questions, and I will direct you to Yammer because I'm a firm believer of encouraging you to do things on your own, because I'm not going to be around to help you all the time, but I am around to help when you need it. So there is a final slide just to kind of reiterate what we've already discussed, where to start the different types of conversations. You have Skype for Business and Microsoft Teams, which is going to be your inner loop, people that you work with closely on projects, including OneDrive for Business. So my analogy for OneDrive is it's like your personal lunch where you bring it for you, but maybe you have an extra piece of toast or carrot to share with a person or two. And you can share the file with 1 or 2 or 3 people for OneDrive for Business when you're interacting and working with files. So that's your inner circle. You're not going to share your lunch with people that you don't know, unless you're a really kind person. Then you have your outer loop, which is going to be Yammer, people that you don't really interact with a lot, but you would like to. You can post a question. Anybody can engage and interact on Yammer. And then you have your email, which you can talk to people that you don't know or people that you do know. And at the center of it all is SharePoint, because it helps manage your files and the different sites. Teams has a backup into SharePoint because SharePoint is content management, so it keeps up with that content. And anytime that you want to have large interactions with people, then that would be a SharePoint situation. It wouldn't be OneDrive. So these are things to think about when you're trying to start your conversation, or if you're like, what's the best collaboration tool to use for my need? This is the mindset to have. Okay. Any questions, concerns, or comments? No? Well, if there are not, hopefully I will see you as some champions in the future. I'll be reaching out to you guys, and we'll do some exciting things in teams. Go team! Thank you, guys.